Hi, Moon Children. Welcome to your July 2019 reading. Happy birthday, you all. I hope you're having a beautiful season. And I'm sure you're aware, being the fact that this is your season and there's so much energy working with you specifically, that July is pretty profound. We're all going to be working through this intensive eclipse season and a Mercury retrograde that is very deeply tied to your sign. And therefore, we are all working through a very psychic, sensitive, tender, revolutionary month this month. Now, I love months like this. There are so much surprise. There's so much invitation for healing and opening. And there's so much invitation for the unknown and to learn how to kind of surf the energy waves with curiosity and ease. And I think that's a really important thing for you all to keep in mind this month during your birthday season and during eclipse season, when it's really affecting you guys. You've been working with the North Node in your sign for several months now, more than several months, a while now, almost a year, right? And this is a time, when you have the North Node in your sign, it's a really interesting time. Being a Leo, I just had the North Node in my sign right before you guys. And one of the things I really noticed is when you have your North Node in your sign, it amplifies everything a little bit. And what it's going to be doing is asking you to show fully up to the table of your life. It's kind of like there's no half measures here. So anything that can't really fit into that warmth and that vibrancy, into that full gung-ho, passionate, happy energy tends to slough off, and it can be kind of almost a frustrating time because that North Node energy is so much about, no, we're going here, we're going here, we're going here, we're going to redirect you every time. And I think you're going to be feeling that energy heightened this month because starting July 2nd, right away, we have the new moon in Cancer, which is that total solar eclipse. It'll be visible only in like a tiny section of the world in South America and over the ocean nearby. But we're going to be feeling the effects of that. And this is where, this is your new moon for the year. Not only that, it's a total solar eclipse. It's a really big reset time. And it's in conversation with this whole concept of the North Node being there and setting you up for being open for what is next, setting you up for building the life you want to be building and taking out anything that's not working for you. And so this is going to be a really big communion time. I would really highly recommend, if you can take a step back, if you can rest, if you can reset, and you don't have to be out and about doing things that day, this is a great day to take it easy and go internal, because this is really personal to you. This is about you and your destiny and your life path and what you want that to look like. If your birthday's around this time, that's going to be a really powerful personal eclipse for you. It's going to be a very powerful visual, I think, visualizing, intuitive day for you all, no matter what your birthday is, but especially if you're close to July 2nd or early part of July or late June. And then, of course, we have the second eclipse this month is in Capricorn, your opposing sign. And there's some really interesting oppositions going on between Cancer and Capricorn this month. Because Saturn and Pluto are over there with the South Node, there's also a lot, especially for Cancers and Capricorns, there's a lot of work going on with clearing out any old hurt or trauma when it comes to father figures, when it comes to self-discipline, when it comes to feeling like you have to go it on your own. A lot of the lessons that are coming in is that we have to open our hearts, we have to open our nurturing selves to the world. And that's actually one of the things I want to talk about for you moon children out there with the North Node in your sign like this. This is a time where you are meant to be embracing your natural ways, and we are all learning what those are. I've talked about it before, but emotions and feeling emotions have been deeply demonized in culture for hundreds and thousands of years, especially hundreds of years. It just makes me think, your archetype of the mother and the moon, this concept of hysteria was something that developed over the last few hundred years as a way to explain women and their depression in the way that they were put into these roles, right? And it was a demonization of women's reproductive organs. It was a demonization of emotional feeling, right? And all of these things got this bad rap of being bad, embarrassing, awful, crazy, right? And then in pop culture and pop astrology, Cancer gets made fun of for being emotional, wanting to cry, and all of these things, right? And we can all have a good laugh about some good astrology memes. I'm definitely not against teasing and joking around about archetypes. However, it's really interesting to me that we have such a fear of feeling emotions. Of course, manipulating people via emotion is never going to be a beautiful thing, but feeling emotion just naturally as it arises is a beautiful thing. And that is something that you have innately in you because you are so connected in with the way these things flow in and out, right? And we all need that medicine. And I think this month for you is a time to heal your connection with that part of yourself and to remember that that's a really important gift that you give us all. And that is actually what the North Node, South Node conversation has a lot to do with. It's about healing the masculine, healing the father masculine, via understanding that the motherly feminine is where we are cradled and nurtured into being. Page of Cups, love it, Cancer, love it. But, you know, being as close to source as you all are, it can be a really tender time. Now, here's the thing. We have these two eclipses. We have this whole conversation of understanding that emotion and feeling emotion is nothing to be looked down upon or to avoid. It's something that's going to help you a lot. Ace of Cups fell out. Empress. Oh my God, this is so good. I mean, that's the other thing. Uranus is in Taurus. Another deeply feminine, beautiful sign. We're having so much of this energy infusing our culture right now with understanding that these versions of feminine divine energy, Seven of Cups, dreamy energy. This is lovely, Cancers. Four of Pentacles. It's a time for deep healing. Now for you, of course, it's not just, you're not carrying the weight of the collective consciousness on your shoulders. This gets to be your evolution. In the midst of these eclipses, we have this beautiful Mercury retrograde that starts in Leo on July 9th. It'll move to you guys on July 19th, and then move through your sign until July 30th. Now, Mercury retrograde, as it moves into your sign, it's going to be just a little bit more of a revamp. You know, it may just be more of a reflective time for you. This is a great time to just kind of go internal, think. Eight of Swords, you know, take a little break with your bondage and your blindfolds. Just kidding. You know, it may be a time where you do feel a little slowed down. You do feel a little bit like you can't act on everything right away, but that's a good thing. These eclipses are going to bring in so much heavy impact energy that we really need some time to reset with that. Because here's the note that I always have for this type of month. It's like, you know, you're going to think you know what's going on July 5th or 6th, maybe after the new moon. You're going to be like, I know what the rest of this month needs to be. I'm going to start doing it. I guarantee you July will continue to morph and take these little turns and these little, and even if you don't have like a dramatic month externally, internally in your mind, you're going to have so many evolutions. So it's a really nice thing to have this Mercury retrograde pull us all back, have us all reset, have us all check in so that we're not moving around and putting our fingers into everything and causing a whole bunch of chaos. So take your time. Page of Wands. Take your time. Integrate. You are getting, Cancer, you guys are getting such huge revelations about where you're healing when it comes to, you know, your parents, where you've inherited thought patterns that you don't want anymore, where you have maybe old patterns in relationships, in the way that you connect with others. Because the other thing is that eclipse in Capricorn is your opposing sign. So there's your relationship eclipse. So you're having all sorts of revelations about how you want to do relationship, how you want to connect more deeply, where you want to heal that, where you want to heal your inner masculine or feminine, where you want to have those two in better harmony, where you're wanting to experience different things when it comes to love and connection. Ace of Pentacles flew out. I will tell you guys this, these cards are amazing. Cancer, you guys are having a very magical alchemical month, and I think that's really important. Here's what I'm noticing. Internally, these eclipses and this retrograde and the oppositions that are going on. Like Venus is going to be in your sign, and that's going to oppose Saturn. Let me see, on July 17th. The sun is in your sign. It's opposing Saturn on July 9th when Mercury stations retrograde in Leo. So there's these really big conversations going on, right, between masculine, feminine, father and mother, and, you know, specifically for you, yourself and relationship. So there's a lot of deep healing going on and big ideas coming up. But here's the thing, your life on the external is starting to link up piece by piece. So while you're having these revelations internally, and maybe even in your most intimate relationships and in your home life and inside of yourself, pay attention to the fact that even if you're having a day where you're kind of feeling maybe a little bit overwhelmed, even feeling maybe some negative thoughts coming up about this path and why July is feeling so overwhelming, kind of take a step back and look around, because I think if you're like taking that bigger view, you'll notice that things are starting to work. They're starting to work, you know, so you're riding these emotion energy waves, really important to do that. And then just take a step back. Like I said, I think this Mercury retrograde, when it hits your sign, is going to pull you inward a little bit. It's going to pull you back. So the first half of this month, you may feel a little bit more like, I'm expanding. And then as we move toward Leo season, you may pull in a little bit. I'll tell you why. We'll get to it. But you guys, look at this. I mean, really. Page of Cups, Ace of Cups, Empress. This is beautiful energy. New beginnings, right? New beginnings in love, in relationships, in the things that you find beautiful. This is a new opportunity. It doesn't just have to be a relationship. It very well could be. For some of you, you may be really opening your heart to new relationships. And even if it's not about meeting the person this month, some of you, I think, will be finding with these eclipses what they're going to be doing is opening you to the type of relationship you want. You know, you guys are survivors in many ways. You push forward into life, regardless of anything that's happened in the past. But you do you can calcify a little bit of that part of you, that inner romantic that really believes in love and nurturing and being open, and to reopen to the possibility of that. Now that can apply to all sorts of things, including creative projects, career goals, and lifestyle goals, where you've kind of said, well, I just have to keep going. I can't think about it in that way anymore. Well, this is reopening you to that. And I think you may find that there's this magical process going on here with these energies where the right things are coming to you. So once again, you're going to be riding those waves. You may have moments during this month, you know, especially during the height of some of these eclipse energies, where you feel really disheartened or overwhelmed, where you maybe feel like you're further from your path. But they're just going to be moments that subside. Once again, this is one of your superpowers, and it's one of the things culturally we need to re-embrace as something that is beautiful and helpful. And so, you know, that will happen, but then you're going to have these huge openings of possibility and the right things infusing your life, right? Now, all three of these are about ease. They're all about sitting back and allowing these beautiful things to come and meet you, wave after wave after wave, right? And it's really interesting because Page of Cups, Ace of Cups, those are obviously like news bringers and new opportunities. Empress is Venus, and Venus is going to be in your sign, playing with you, amplifying your energy, making you feel very beautiful, making you feel very loved and lovable. But it takes you into this dream world, right? Seven of Cups is one of my favorite cards. It is foggy. It is kind of like, woo, where am I? But what this card does is this takes us up and out to explore energetically which cups we want to pick up. To take the time to explore emotionally what resonates with us, and to pick the cups that really work for us. Not to pick the poison chalice, but to pick the chalice that makes us feel giddy. So part of what you're parsing through in the energetic field right now is to remember that you are picking up this cup, right? But you can go explore. You can go explore, and these eclipses will help you do that and play with that. Play with which cups you want to pick up and which ones don't taste so good. This is a very dreamy time. This is a very big time of possibility. So you'll be noticing that, yes, you'll have waves of feeling disheartened, then you'll have waves of just daydreaming. And you'll have waves of clear things coming to meet you. And each of these is going to be weaving into the other. So kind of be aware of that morphing landscape, right? In a given day, you could experience all of these things, and none of them are better than the other. They're all just kind of in concert working together to help you, because you do have this beautiful, vibrant month of new beginnings. You also have some internal work going on, right? Here's that Four of Pentacles, Eight of Swords. These cards, this kind of reminds me of what that Mercury retrograde is going to be doing when it hits into your sign on July 19th. And then, as we move into Leo, we're moving into your second house. We're moving into your house of value. And so once we kind of move past your season and we're here in the last week or so of this month, one of the things that's going to be coming up is value, is you letting yourself have all this beautiful emotional abundance, right? And you may find that you are almost a little bit scared to fully walk through this new door that's opened up for you. You may find that you kind of want to pull back. And this is what Mercury retrograde is going to help you do. Okay, we're here. This North Node is pulling you forward into this next phase of your life. It's pulling you up and out into who you're becoming. And you're feeling a little unsure about it. And this Mercury retrograde is really going to help you integrate anywhere where you feel you have to hold yourself back, you have to shut things down, you have to be reactionary, or you have to be self-preserving. It's going to pull those demons up and out, and we're going to look at those. And so you may be finding those waves are coming up at the end of the month, and that those are something that you're going to have to witness. This is a great thing to write about. If these energies are coming out, write about it. Pull out a piece of paper and just write it out. What is this voice saying? Why is it here? What is it trying to protect you from? What is it afraid of? And commune with it a little bit. It's not as scary as it seems, but there will be a slowdown, and you may even feel a sense of poverty or worthlessness with it. And normally that's what happens when a big dose of abundance comes to us, because we've trained ourselves to be wary. But I don't think that's going to stop you, because Page of Wands, Ace of Pentacles ends this reading today, my loves, and this is more abundance. And it's a different quality, right? The beginning of this reading, we had all this watery abundance. So a lot of emotional support, a lot of emotionally beautiful revelations about love, about creativity, about how we give of ourselves. There's just so much goodness there. These last two cards are about the passionate projects you want to do and the money you want to have rolling in. And that's where, taking the time to work through that worthiness stuff is really going to be helpful, because this, to me, is new work opportunities, new creative opportunities, new opportunities to make art and things of beauty and things of value and meaning in the world as you move through it, just as your own individual self. Yes, emotions are on the front and center for you, and relationships and what that looks like. But there's also another theme going on here, Cancer, and that is about your life destiny. And as we move over the next 2 or 3 months, we are going to be working more and more with this. But the door is opening here for you to really open yourself up to who you are becoming and what you want that to look like. So one of the last gifts this month is going to be giving you, as you integrate what those eclipses is going to be, those eclipses have brought in, is that you are opening a door to a new version of self, a new lifestyle, a new way of moving through the world. And there's everything supporting you guys. But I will say this, when you're working on this bandwidth, and I'm sure you've noticed this already, really truly things that are subpar, things that just do not jive with you, fall away. They can't hang out with you. They can't stand the test of time. And it can be frustrating sometimes, because you're like, but I want that. It's like, no, it's not good enough. This is not North Node material. And so you're getting directed to North Node material, which is these aces, which is this energy, this vibrant whole energy, but it's quiet, it's simple, it's got this gentleness to it. It's going to hold you in a whole totally different way than some of that other stuff that maybe you've experienced in the past. And so part of what your homework assignment in July is to get used to this new energetic pattern, to kind of get used to the quietness of it and the wholeness of it. because it has a different feeling. Like I said, the other thing to keep in mind this month is just that it is a very molten landscape. All the pieces are moving around. Once again, you're not the only ones going through this eclipse, so everybody around you is going to be going through their own revolutions, and each sign has its own flavor on this. So don't assume anything with other people. Don't assume that even what your own revelations are going to be producing for you. So just kind of keep that in mind. This is a month to be patient and observant. Roll on these waves. Let the waves crash in and let yourself open fully to this, and you're going to have an amazing month, you guys. I love you so much. You can find me on Instagram at SarahVerba. I would love to see you over there. You can also find me on my website, SARAHTAROT.com. I will be opening up sessions into the fall very soon, so you can keep an eye on my calendar there on my website, and you can also sign up for my newsletter if you're interested. I also am wearing PinkLune's jewelry, and she's been working on some beautiful crowns. So I'll leave her Etsy shop below so you can check her out. All the goodies will be in the description box if you're interested. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I am really looking forward to doing the moon magic readings with you guys, so keep an eye out for those for the eclipses, specific conversations about those eclipses. I will see you for August readings. I'm sending you all my love. Have a beautiful birthday season, and I will talk to you soon.